First of all, I want to thank Chairman Harkin and Ranking Member Alexander and their staffs for working with me as chairman of the relevant committee on this very, very important bill. We have been working on this for the last several years, and I have been working with advocates from all over this country, many, many senior organizations who are deeply concerned about elements in this bill. I'm pleased that this bill has the strong support of over 50 organizations representing the voices of tens of millions of Americans, including the AARP, the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare, the National Council on Aging, the Alzheimer's Association, and Meals on Wheels Association of America. Mr. Chairman, I would ask unanimous consent to be able to submit to the record the names of all of the organizations that are supporting this important legislation.
Without objection.
I'm also pleased that over the last couple of years, we have been able to work with many of the members of this committee to incorporate some of the important priorities that they had on issues impacting seniors. This is a good bill, widespread support, and bipartisan support here on the committee, and I hope that we can get it passed today. Since the important point to be made is that since 2006, the last year in which the Older Americans Act was reauthorized, the United States population of people over 60 years of age has grown by 20%. As the baby boomers age, every single state in this country has seen their senior population grow. Yet, despite the growth in senior population, federal funding for this act is the same today as it was in 2006, which is $1.8 billion. Funding for the act has decreased in real dollars by more than $250 million when one takes inflation into account. I think the most important point that I want to make, members of this committee, is that I understand that in these tight times, people are hesitant about putting money into programs. But all of the evidence tells us that when you invest in the Older Americans Act, when you make sure that seniors have decent nutrition so that they don't end up in the emergency room, so that they don't fall and break their hips, so they don't get sicker that they otherwise should have and end up in the hospital at great cost, the evidence is overwhelming that investing in these programs saves taxpayers' money. It is not only the moral thing to do. I don't know that there's anybody in this committee who wants to see any senior in this country go hungry, but it is also cost-effective. When you invest in some of the most frail and elderly people in this country, when you give them a meal, decent nutrition, it saves us money, and it is the right thing to do. So what this bill does is it deals with elder abuse, in addition to nutrition, long-term care ombudsman program, emphasis on evidence-based programs, senior centers, very important in all of our communities, preventing fraud and abuse, home care, nutrition services, etc. This is a bill that really touches on a whole lot of lives in this country for some of the frailest and the most people most in need. So I hope that we could have widespread support for this legislation. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I would yield the floor.